Hello everybody, it's your boy KirbyDK10 here coming at you with another episode of the Overkill Podcast. It is episode 70. I'm here with my co-host Meta.
Gamers, what's up? I got them GG subs popping, baby.
Based. My guy's not sponsored, but
Not sponsored,
my
but
guy's on the
caffeinated.
energy drinks. Yeah.
That's only like 100 milligrams per serving, so
Based.
I do 2 scoops, 200. I guess that is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. I'm loading up Nikkei, not the one we're gonna talk about today, but yeah, we're ready.
Yeah. I guess we'll start right off with kind of some disappointing news in my opinion, but not surprising to most people, I feel like. But Battlefield 6, they have revealed that the weapons will not be locked to a class, much like it was within 2042.
Okay.
But there will be bonuses with each class if you pick the what they're calling a signature weapon. So, for instance, they give the example of sniper rifles. Whenever you scope in and you're playing recon, you can hold your breath longer while in the scope. Just as an example, I'm not sure if it's just one perk that you get with each thing. They also, it seems like recons can spot while they're aim down sights, so maybe there are like a couple other perks that you get with each weapon on every class, but I believe 2042 had something similar to this. I could be wrong. I haven't played the game in a long time, but at least I think they're trying to get back to some sort of class system, but I just think they just need to bring back classes.
Man, alright. I mean, I'm not getting this game. You're free to, but this story, that like you you put in, this is really disheartening to me. Because I mean, this is part of the problem they had with 2042 is that like all the classes feel the same. All like the skins are the same. There's not really
Most
like
of
two
the guns.
sides. Yeah, most of the guns basically are the same. I mean, this fixes nothing that we had complaints with, and I honestly, after being burnt by Battlefield 2042 so much, I'm kind of over. I'm kind of over this shit that they keep trying to do, where they tell you it's gonna be an awesome Battlefield, and nothing is unique anymore. So I don't know. I mean, I know that's like a black pill take, but I'm really disheartened with this story. It's kind of
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just so sad.
Yeah, it's like this is one of the most criticized features of 2042, and if this is something that they didn't change, what else have they haven't changed, right? Like what else did they just not care to do, you know?
I
So it in my opinion, this doesn't bode well to the game. I'm definitely not going to get the game. I was very cautiously optimistic. Maybe something could come out that is good, but after this, I'm definitely not getting the game, bro. I think I'm gonna have to play Battlefield 4 for the 11th year, you know?
Man, Battlefield 4 for the 11th year. Bro, I bet you there's still people online, isn't there? For
Or
that?
no, the 12th year. Right, yeah, because it came out in 2013, so yeah, it's...
Holy fuck. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I bet there's like one server still up.
There has to be.
It's so sad. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see. I guess there's still an opportunity for something good here, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess we can move on.
I'm Not feeling good.
Let me do something. I gotta walk away.
Okay. So, speaking of old games, this actually ties in perfectly. The CD Projekt Red released the Witcher 3 10-year anniversary trailer, which I thought was very, very odd. And 5 months ago, they actually released the Witcher 4 trailer, um, which, I also found to be interesting that they came back and they released a Witcher 3 trailer. I mean, it's not like a new DLC. It's not like it's adding anything. It was just literally, hey, it's been 10 years. Remember this game. Now, I don't know. There's a few things we can kind of break open with this that I wanted to bring up. What do you think about like advertising a game like 10 years after it's come out?
Honestly, I don't really hate it, to be honest. There hasn't been anything, like in my opinion, there hasn't been anything good coming out recently. So I don't think it's a bad thing if you want to promote like an older game. That's just kind of my doomer take on it, I guess.
Mm-mm.
But also, I guess there is The Witcher 4 is coming out sometime, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, I guess I don't hate it either. The Witcher 3 was regarded as a really good game. I actually bought it on sale like 5 years ago for like $10, and I played it for like an hour and a half, and I ended up returning the game because I knew it was going to take a long time to get through. And I was like finishing up some school stuff or something. But also, it's an RPG. Not really my thing. I guess one of the things I want to ask you is like, do you think you would ever even be interested in a game like The Witcher 3?
I don't know. I've seen a couple of like the cutscenes and a little bit of gameplay here and there, but like yeah, for the most part, most open world games don't really do it for me. So probably not. Uh, but I mean, I'm always down to try it if it goes on sale, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I think the only open world games I really enjoy are like some of the Assassin's Creed stuff and Breath of the Wild. That's really the only ones I think I've played and beaten.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we tend to play a lot more like I don't want to say like cozy RPGs kind of things, but I mean that's kind of been the case. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I just thought that was odd that they I don't know, they released a trailer 10 years later. I guess go off, why not?
Yeah, it's also like a medieval style game, and I know me and you aren't too huge on that. Like I
Mm-mm.
like the art style of it, but just like most games, I don't know. I just don't. If it doesn't have like shooting or something, I'm kind of like to me. It's like boring.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty much. The medieval game is like I like it in theory, but like whenever I actually play it, I don't enjoy it. And I think it is just literally because uh, you know, it's just like distance weapons usually aren't great, and you often end up just the combat system ends up being simple, or more often than not, especially in modern games, it ends up being clunky because they try to make it look like real combat instead of like the old Assassin's Creeds where like the combat looked great and it was just kind of mashing buttons, but it looked pretty fluid and pretty sick, even though there was like some clipping and stuff.
Yeah, based. Well, I guess we can move on to the
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I know we're a Call of Duty podcast, so I had to
Oh,
put this in
allegedly.
here.
That's what they say. I don't know. I don't know if we
Well,
are
at least
anymore.
we started out, and then we
We
kind of
say we
branched out
are.
to just gaming in general.
Yeah.
But haven't been playing Black Ops 6 very much. I actually went back to Modern Warfare 3, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But uh, I kind of wanted to bring up this. Call of Duty Season 4 is coming out May 29th. Thursday, baby. And
All right.
the biggest thing here is there's gonna be 3 maps at launch, which is like pretty typical. 2 6v6, 1 2v2, and then mid-season. This is interesting. They're bringing back Fringe from Black Ops 3, and I think this is
I see
the
that.
reason they're doing this is a lot of leaks and rumors have been coming out about the next game, which is going to be Advanced Movement, and there's even some game files because Call of Duty now is one launcher, one application. Any change that they make to one game can bleed into another.
Okay.
So a couple people have discovered within the game files that there is like wall running, and people have been like modders have been able to access the wall running and show it off a little bit, and it looks exactly like Black Ops 3 sort of style movement. So but at the same time you also have like tac sprint, which is weird. Like on the ground you have tac sprint, but then you have like Black Ops 3 style movement. It's weird.
Bro. Okay.
We'll have to see how that is. Supposedly they were going to have, some people were thinking they're going to have like a limited time event with that, but it doesn't seem like that's coming this season. Maybe with another season they will be, but it's at least not coming this season. So
Damn. All right. Well, interesting.
other than that, they're bringing back the FFAR, the LC-10 from Cold War, and then the Olympia as a special weapon, meaning you can use it as a secondary, which is pretty nice. We'll have to see how that all plays out in the multiplayer, but I'm happy that they're remastering a couple like the older weapons.
Man, okay.
Yeah. Also, they're doing some Verdansk changes. We haven't even played Verdansk. Maybe we should try that. What do you think, Meta?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I'm down to try Verdansk. I don't think Warzone has been super duper fantastic in the more recent games, but I'm down to try it. I think the main issue was always that they got rid of Verdansk out of like the pool entirely. I really do think they should have done like a rotating map system like they do in other BRs. But maybe that's a cooked ass take. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the map should just be random every time you load into like Warzone. Because like the problem is like if you do a rotating map thing, like one day it'll be like, or like for 2 hours it'll be Verdansk, and then like people will just stop playing because they don't like for instance it'll be like 2 hours. 2 hours will be Urzikstan, let's just say, and so people won't play it. But then the next 2 hours will be Verdansk, so people will hop back on. So like I think that's why they don't do that. But then again, you could also just make it random. So I don't know. That's how most games
all that
do
tracks.
But yeah. Other than that, though, the other big Call of Duty news that I kind of wanted to cover. This game came out quite a few months ago. I think like 7 or so months ago, and we never ended up covering it because honestly, I didn't even know it came out. It's a very small fan-made project, but after SM2, or not SM, what was it? H2M was shut down last year. These people started making this open source game called Horizon MW.
Okay.
And it's basically Modern Warfare remastered, but they brought back MW2 and MW3 guns as well. And it's probably the closest thing we're going to get to MW3 remastered multiplayer. The original, of course,
Yes. Yeah, the good one. Wow.
And I think I've thought about downloading this mod, but with like the problem with most mod clients in Call of Duty is like you only get the sweaty players playing it, so you don't really get that casual experience like the old days.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you get, I mean, because only the true sweats and like the people that are like watching YouTube, or like young kids that have nothing better to do and they're the real sweats. They'll
this
just,
is true.
yeah, they'll be the ones that download it, and you'll just be getting fucked the whole time. Just to be honest with you, that's how it works.
Yeah, I think other than that though, what are we thinking about the next Call of Duty game? Are we gonna be buying it, or are we gonna be waiting? I think I know your answer, but
I've tried to get you to stop buying them because I just think they're shit and they're never gonna get better, and that's just a fact. But I try to avoid buying them, and then you'll end up just getting it, and then I'll just hop on, and it's that's just kind of how it works.
yeah, I was thinking
I'm not planning on it. I don't like modern CODs, and I haven't liked modern CODs. And I would rather not play modern CODs if I could.
Yeah, I was thinking what I'm gonna do this time around is I'm just gonna do like the $1 Game Pass. What do you call it, like 14-day trial? Maybe buy like 1 month of Game Pass and just play for like the first month or so, and then like wait until down the line whenever there's a sale and buy it on sale. Because
that's probably
how
wise.
normally that's what happens anyways. Is I at least with the recent ones I've been trying to like wait a little bit until like around Christmas where there's a little bit of a sale. But I think with this next game I don't think it's gonna be great, so I'm probably just gonna wait till like the fall whenever the next one comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try to avoid it, and you always say you're not gonna get it, but you do anyways. So I fully believe you're gonna buy it. I think you're full of bullshit. Is what
My
I think.
addiction never ends.
No,
right?
dude. No, it does not. Fuck, man. All right. Speaking of old games. This is a topic I was thinking about, and then lo and behold, I saw Asmon release it. Have you played WoW? I don't even remember. You
a little
did,
bit,
right? For
yes.
like
I played like the first
days.
area. I did a couple of like little, not the main quest. I never got what the main quest item like icon was, so I just did a bunch of like random side quests within like the first horde area, because I was, I like playing as orcs, so.
Yeah,
That was my character, man.
You're an Ooga Boonga type of guy over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I played Shaman,
Yeah.
which I thought Shaman was kind of big brain. No?
Shaman is kind of big brain. Yeah, it's kind of big brain. I mean, in the higher levels, it's big brain at least. I don't know. You and I never got deep enough into WoW to really find out. The topic though is why like WoW hasn't been getting any new players, and I'm curious on what your take is, but I'll tell you what mine is first. I think WoW hasn't been getting new players because it's a game that so like let's say you're like a younger guy, right, and you're like playing games, or you're looking for a game to play, and you see World of Warcraft, or you see like Final Fantasy. 1, WoW looks ugly. 2, WoW is like populated by a bunch of boomers, and then 3, it just doesn't like this skills and stuff that you like. Well, okay. So, like, if you see arena gameplay and you think that's really cool, and let's say you do download the game and you pay for all the subscriptions and all the maps and or all the expansions and stuff, and then you get into the arena, you kind of realize like just how clunky it feels. Like you kind of realize you just realize how dated the game feels, and that's my theory. But I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think WoW is kind of like going down the shitter?
I mean, bro, it's kind of like I see it in the same way as I think like one of my friends would put it, where it's like you have Fortnite and you
Okay.
have all these other like colorful games. Well, I'm just saying, like if you're gonna play like a quote unquote,
Yeah,
well, I
no.
guess WoW isn't free, but you know, there are like so many better looking games than it. But on top of that, if you ever download it and play it, the controls feel very dated. It's hard to
Oh
move.
goodness, yeah.
Using abilities is rough. I can't remember. I don't think you can't control the camera with the mouse, really. It's very different. It's not how you normally control the camera. Which can take some getting used to. And yeah, I don't know. On top of that, like yeah, you just have I think the old people just kind of whenever they play it, they kind of look over everything like that. Whereas like if you're a new player, you really everything is like a little slight, right? That's how I looked at it. It was like death by 1,000 cuts, where it's like game's ugly, controls suck, the story I don't care about story. So like what is there is there a reason I'm supposed to be here? No. Yeah.
Based Chad gameplay enjoyer. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's kind of so we basically have the same theory. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is it's just fucking ugly.
Also, I
And
think one thing too is like I think RPGs in general are not like as popular among younger people, because like now most games just you have everything at your disposal immediately and you don't have to like level up at all. So
oh,
maybe that could be
that
like
is
another
very
thing
true.
too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think fucking there's nothing appealing to it, especially if you like, uh, especially if you like a younger guy that's looking for a new game to play. You don't want to play some fucking old ass looking game. Seriously, I think WoW. I think they have done a visual upgrade in the past. I think WoW really needs to, or I think Blizzard really needs to look into like making it look amazing and just like doing a complete graphic overhaul, and that might even include like putting on a new engine. But maybe it's not where maybe they don't think it's worth their investment or whatever. I don't know. It's just
yeah. I mean, if you have, I guess if you have
fucking
legacy
dated.
players that just dump money into it, there's really no reason to do anything. So
Yeah, I mean you're taking you're taking a risk on um you're taking a risk on just doing something like that, and a lot of those legacy players will throw a fit that it looks better. That's and then it probably feels better. So yeah, maybe you're right. All right, I guess we'll move on. That was just something I was
well,
thinking about, just old ass RP or old ass like yeah
I have a question.
MMOs.
Is like the WoW community like are they kind of elitist or no?
Um. Well, yeah. There's like two factions. Or there's a few factions. There's kind of like, so there's like the classic players that only play on the servers that like mimic whatever it was like back in the day, and they all think they're hot shit. But then there's the ones that play. Oh gosh, it's like standard, or the ones that play like the current version of the game. And there are like casual shooters that just like run around and don't care, right? And they'll do like just
Based.
raids with like randoms and stuff. Yeah, yeah, no. They'll do
That
like
is
raids with
based.
random and stuff, and then Yeah, it is very based actually. And then there's this small subsection that like thinks they're the best and they do like only the highest quality content and they like won't let you join their group. So like, there's kind of a spread, but I would say like the loudest players are the ones that like do high level stuff and think they're amazing. So yeah, I mean, it would be a shitstorm of like people gatekeeping and being like, "Why did you change our game?"
Yeah, I
So
know. Well, I
even
think
though it
that's
looks
the
like it
thing
was
too.
made on
Is
the
like,
N64.
yeah, that pushed a lot of people away. And at least with like, I would say this with like Final Fantasy. If I didn't know how to do something, like I think I had like one person soy out and like leave the dungeon because I was like failing as a tank or whatever. But like whenever they explained the mechanic to me and they were like, "Hey, this is what you're doing wrong," and fix it, I was like, "Okay, cool, I can do that." Um, and they were very like, a lot of the times like people in Final Fantasy were very, they weren't what do you call it? Like they weren't talking down to me. They were just trying to give advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like I think in WoW, a lot of times people can kind of, yeah, they just have like an elitist mindset. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think you're right. Um, I think too they're older and they've been playing like WoW a lot longer, and they're just like, they just don't give a shit. They're just like buck up and figure it out, and it really is a big turnoff. Also, I think Final Fantasy also has like just a lot of shitters that'll just kind of join and play, and that's really based. So it's always
Yeah, like
fun to play that.
that's that's what I like about it. Is like that a lot of people don't take much of this stuff too seriously. Like they
Mm-hmm.
just are there to like actually enjoy the game. Um, yeah, of course, I guess elitism happens in both games, so it doesn't really, like, ultimately,
Well,
yeah, it
yeah.
happens in both, but I think it's a lot more within WoW. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess we can move on.
I think you are correct on that.
Okay, space.
All right.
We can move on to. I know we talked
Mm-hmm.
about this game. I believe it was around the same time last year, but Stellar Blade is coming out with a sequel, Stellar Blade 2. And it's apparently coming out pretty soon. Um, and looks pretty poggers.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
it's gonna come out apparently before 2027. So probably, I'm assuming 2026, maybe late 26. So this was the game, if you don't know, with the very hot chick, and it was on PlayStation, and then I think, almost immediately got put onto PC, and
Yeah.
the game looks great,
Stellar Blade
visually.
2. We talked
Also,
about Stellar Blade 1.
yeah. Also, it's good to see a Japanese game company succeeding. Uh, we love to see it. It's not a woke game at all, so that's why
Oh
the main
no.
reason that I like it.
No, I think they used the same chick again. I think if you remember from the first time we discussed this, they used an actual real like model, and I found her Instagram, and she was very very attractive, and it caused a lot of the left to lose their mind. Um, how dare there be an attractive woman in my video game? Um, and most right leaning people, even the religious ones, are like, yeah, I mean, seems pretty based. Just I don't know why you'd want an ugly character. And it looks like they use the same chick, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't get that whole point where it's like, oh, let's make the character ugly. Like, the only time you should do that is like if you're literally portraying like an ogre character or like a character that's meant to
Yeah,
be ugly. Like, I
I
don't know
just
why.
don't.
Like, it's always like, if it's a
Doesn't
female
compute,
protagonist, it has to
man.
be ugly. You know?
It doesn't fucking compute. It doesn't make sense. There is no reason that your character should be fucking ugly unless that's like the whole point of like their race or whatever they are.
Yeah. Also, I will say the whole game just looks so great. And especially with like PC DLSS and all that. Oh, it's
Oh,
looking
dude, it
nice.
looks
So
crispy.
we never played this one, sadly. Maybe we should.
We should put
If
it
it
on the
goes on sale, we
list.
should
To be real,
put it on our wish list. Yeah.
um, I got Nier Automata too. I own that game, and I really need to just sit down and fucking play it. Um, my issue is that, like always, I can't decide on what game I want to main, and anytime I try to main a single player game, all of a sudden all the boys want to start playing something. So it just never works out.
It is
It's
so
like
true.
the timing is dog shit every time.
Uh,
Unless it's, and this sounds really fucked up too, but like that's one of the reasons that I play like gotchas and stuff, because it's the one type of game on like a phone that has like enough depth to keep me interested. A lot of phone games are really simple, and because I don't have time to play on like PC, or because whenever I try to play a game on PC, all the boys decide they want to play all of a sudden. Um, it makes me like play gotchas because I can play it on my phone and like no one knows I'm playing them, or I can have it play at work like auto battle, and there's like enough depth with like upgrading gear and characters and like unlocking them that like it's a good time. But yeah, I just fully know that like if I try to play a single player game, I'm gonna be fucked. I know you and I have been doing a lot better since the boys have kind of been moving on a little bit with their lives, and we've been hanging out more in person. That maybe one of these days we will actually be able to play single player games.
yeah.
Shit, or we'll just
I don't.
a lot
I
of our
think
friends
we,
don't like to be on Discord unless we're playing a game together. That's the main issue.
Yeah, I think we need to like get back into playing co-op games with each other. You
Yeah,
know,
that would probably be a good move.
like co-op single player games or something. But uh, what was I? I don't know. Oh yeah, like you're getting back into. I can't remember what game it was, but it was like a few months ago, or like maybe a month or two ago. And then we started playing Overwatch, and you stopped playing it. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I tried. The
happens all
issue
the
is
time.
like I tried to get everyone back on Overwatch and they didn't want to do it. So Overwatch is.
I know now no one's playing anything, so group chat's dead, gamers. So sad.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking dead, boys.
Yeah, I guess we can move on to your new gotcha game that you got here.
Yeah, so this is one that I actually don't play. It's
Oh.
called Infinity Nikki. The one that I'm playing is Nike. Mine has girls with guns that have booba and booty, and it's more of a gotcha tailored towards men, because it's guns and women, and every woman is like a super soldier essentially. Infinity Nikki, however, is a gotcha aimed at women. So the creator of this gotcha is a man, but he said, "What if we fill this gap in the marketplace? Because almost all gotchas are based on like sexual women or kind of more lewd women doing things and like being more interesting to men." So he devised I believe 60%, it might be 50, but I think it's 60% female staff. Now, not all of those women are devs. A lot of them do the marketing and the art and stuff, but there are some female devs out there. But what had happened is this game had picked up a lot of traction, mostly with women and a lot with men too, because it's kind of like Breath of the Wild, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild, except with like this cute girl character that you collect outfits for. And stop me if you want to cut in. And essentially, you go around the world and you play little mini games and you like talk to people and you do quests. It's kind of like it's kind of like a like a little Second Life cute game. Anyways,
Yeah.
they kind of had a bit of a woman moment, the devs here. So they were hyping up this big update, and everyone had liked the story. The story goes, you spawn in, you like fall into like a mirror world, or you put on an outfit and you go into like a mirror world, and you can leave at any time. It's something like that. It's kind of cutesy. The devs decided we don't like that. We want to appeal to a broader audience, and so they completely changed. They retconned the whole story to where you essentially spawn in, and there's a god that kind of tells you what to do, and sends you on your way. So there's no more like this mystical mirror thing that's going on, and there's no more. They changed the whole fucking story, and it made people very mad. Another thing they did, which is very haram in gachas, is because gachas are all about the Skinner box of making you either suffer enough to pay or just be relaxed enough to not give a shit, is they promised a reward system for logging in every day, and it was like a wallpaper, some art, some pulls, and a final surprise. And so the pulls in this gacha are the outfits and various things with outfits. So in a lot of gachas, you pull for different characters. In this, you pull for outfits. And they essentially took away what the final surprise was, or they were going to. And so players complained.
I thought it was like I thought it was like a thing where it's like you had to get a certain amount of people to wish list it before you got certain pulls, right?
Oh, that's what it was. Sorry, yeah, it was wishlist on Steam, because a lot of gachas you have to download from the website if you want like the computer client. It was wishlist on Steam. You're right. Sorry. So people got really mad that they kind of like debated them, and they were gonna just pull the final surprise. So they just ended up giving them all the pulls anyways. I brought this story up because something that I think is just fascinating is like one reason I wanted to talk about this is, does this have anything to do with like a stigma about games like this? So the Steam tag used to have cozy on it, and they took that off because they were trying to appeal to a broader range. Now, I think that's really fucking stupid, but like this seems to be a trend of these companies of like trying to appeal to like a huge audience instead of like just making it for a niche and then having that niche love the game.
Yeah, I think that's a little weird to me, like taking off the cozy tag, because like that's like one of the most like some of the biggest like indie games or like smaller games have that. Like Stardew Valley is like loved by both women and men. You know what I mean? Like this game,
Leave the cozy
it probably will be. Yeah, I don't understand that one. That one's kind of wild to me, but yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm looking at the gameplay. It does look pretty nice, but yeah, I don't know. I think we need to get back to having games that appeal to very specific audiences. I don't think it's a bad thing if you want your game to appeal to everyone, but if you do that, you generally come up with like a pretty bland game.
Yeah.
To me, just like looking at it, I don't know. I think it appeals to. It probably does appeal more to women, but I'm not opposed to trying it either. I don't really care. But
yeah. What else? I guess. I guess. And so, it's part of something that I find interesting is like I almost I almost find this to be like a trend in the gaming industry. So, for example, one of the VTubers I watched, Kirsha, there was this game that she used to play called Crime Boss, and the devs were like playing with her on stream, and the devs would like talk to her and stuff on stream, and then all of a sudden they just came out and they like disowned her for like leaning right, and
Yeah.
then surprise to nobody, everyone that like likes her dropped the game. They said, all right, fine, you don't like this VTuber I like, fine, we just won't play your game. And then they doubled down and they doubled down, and now the leftists that they were trying to appeal to don't like their game either, because there's slurs in their game, there's violence, there's jokes about like all kinds of stuff, and they all of a sudden drop them too. So I don't know what it is with these devs and making like sudden changes to their shit, to like appeal to a broader audience or to kind of appeal to a different audience. I think you should just cultivate what you have and be happy. Is that wild, or am I? I think that's reasonable. I think that's
Nah,
smart.
dude, that's very reasonable. I think most the problem with like most devs is they are very like creatively brained people, you know. So I think like they don't. I think this is why a lot of times like you kind of see game companies be like, shut up and do your job, basically, and like don't speak to the public, kind of a deal, because you can hurt PR if you do that. I think we've seen that a lot with for instance, like I remember this one always sticks out to me, but EA being like, if you don't like it, don't buy it, it's like, that's great, no one bought it, I think that's why most also creatively like left brain people are generally leftist, and right now I think that's still I think prevalent. I think the Overton window is kind of shifting away from that, and a lot of people are moving more to the right. So yeah,
that is another thing. Maybe we'll talk about it more next week. But like, I think people are running more or less politically. There's a difference between like a story that has politics and a story that is like about politics. And I think if it leans too far left or right, I think it can end up being bad either way, because it's no longer about entertainment, it's about your message. So yeah, maybe we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah,
Gamers.
It's been a good episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been your boy Kirby DK10.
It's been me,
Peace.
Meta. Always sneak that in there, dude.